And we're live.
Maybe we're live.
Or maybe
see. We are not sure if we're live or not. We're going to take our time, but welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight. A little bit more relaxed than normal. And of course, we have Techy Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing great. Are you trying to get out of a ticket?
No, honey, I'm not trying to get a ticket yet. I got one for speeding on the commute to the studio. The last time I checked, the dog didn't have the authority to write a ticket. That may be happening fairly soon, but we will see. Hello, Miss Brenda. How are you?
Brenda. Hello, Shannon.
Hello, Shannon.
So, haha, everyone got here before us tonight.
Yes.
Sorry, it doesn't happen often. You gotta gotta have fun with it.
It's going to be very interesting show because there's two topics we want to talk about.
Oh, okay, cool. We have topics?
Yes. I sent them to you, told you to be ready to talk about them Friday.
What? Oh my gosh. We have topics?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, which way's up? What? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Sorry, I'm having a moment. There we go.
Right.
Get my stuff all organized here. Oh, sorry. It's been a day, guys.
Well, you've had a jam-packed day.
Little bit.
Is here to make her report to the Chinese government that she's still being held captive.
Oh, yeah. She always wants to, lodge that complaint.
Yes.
I'm still here. Hi, Jennifer and Rachel and Facebook user. Oh, but yeah, no.
So, we have very jam-packed day for you. I've been kind of like moseying around and getting ready for numerology class tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get a flat.
And she has now attacked him on air. Sorry. It's not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, she has now attacked me again for the third time this week. I don't know what her deal is, if she's losing balance, has an ear infection, or is just plotting to kill me.
I go for option 3 because that seems to be her most common element.
Mm-hmm. But no, so there's a lot of talk about the inaugural. We're seeing now 20,000 troops.
Brenda's like, that happens here.
Yeah. Now in DC, areas are blocked off.
Oh no, we don't have a bipolar cat. Like, we wish she had good days.
She's not a bad cat. 110 is not a bad cat. She's a little mischiefy. She's only 3. So that basically means she's like a 6-year-old.
With Ginsu knives for, fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Probably she will have to get her nails trimmed.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy, darling. And that'll be happening here very soon. But no, she's not a bad cat. She just doesn't know that I am not a jungle gym. Just because I have clothes on doesn't mean that you can grab them and they'll help you hold on.
Yeah, no, she doesn't really understand that. Like, that works with furniture, not with people.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's 110. And
hello, Ashley.
There. Hello, Ashley, darlings. Told you I was working on it. It took me a little bit. We were battling with some stuff. But anyhow, so there's 20,000 troops in the capital and throughout DC.
Mm-hmm.
5,000 more than when Obama was inaugurated.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing pictures of troops sleeping in the Capitol. A lot of people are shocked by this, but then I'm also seeing a lot of military men going, that ain't nothing. That's a 5-star hotel to them. And I would kind of give them that.
Yeah. Heat, food, and facilities.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes you just got to appreciate what you got.
Right.
Then again, that floor, oh, that's got to be cold. That's marble, right?
Yeah, but at least it's dry. And it's probably warm.
Oh, no, marble's never warm.
Oh, yes, it is. If it's heated correctly, especially radiant heat, it'll hold warmth.
I don't know. Like, I just know that, like, you know, most people opt for the little marble insert if they're going to, or marble piece if they're going to be doing bread making and stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter how warm that house is, that marble's going to be cold.
That's candy making, not bread making. Bread making, you want warmth.
Okay. I thought it was some form of bread making. I don't know. No. This is how well I do.
I know. You look pretty and you eat the delicious stuff I make and you tell me how pretty I look.
It's not untrue.
It's what I expect.
Basically. But yeah.
So that's going on. I do think it was wonderful of Madam Speaker Nancy Pelosi to walk out and greet the troops and thank them. That should have gotten more airtime. I would have loved to have been able to hear her speech. I do think it's kind of funny, however, that she wore the same outfit for both impeachments.
Yeah.
Except this time it had a very nice matching mask. I don't know who is doing her mask tailoring, but they're on point.
Well, I'm just sitting here in general going with the theory that, you know, it is kind of a Groundhog Day situation in this presidency. Like, haven't we done this before? You know.
Right. And we've done this multiple times. We've had troops in the Capitol multiple times. During 9/11, we had troops there. Now, a lot of you may not remember that. You know, some of the younger populations.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, that falls into the category of you can now buy alcohol just because they can see the 1 in your birth year.
I know.
That doesn't make people want to drink more. I don't know what does.
That just means that we can buy higher class stuff now.
Well, that's true. But I mean, in general, like, no, I can see the 1. You're good. I'm there. It's all over TikTok. I know we weren't TikTok people. We became TikTok people. But that one is all over TikTok. And it's like, ooh, gut punch.
Well, they're a very large social media platform. I started doing something today on my TikTok. If you ain't following me, of course, you know my call sign, Aeson Knight. I started the rules of being a mistress because apparently no one else is going to write this book, so I'm just going to make 1-minute videos for it.
Yes, it's a very long subject.
It is. You would think that being a mistress was easy. It's like
rules for being a mistress 37. Aw. But Kathy, let me tell you, as long as you don't drink, you don't have to show the license. You don't have to show the license. No one has to point out that they know how old you are because of the 1.
Right.
Because, hi. Some of us graduated that year. That's where I'm at. And it's like, oh, thanks for the wonderful reminder.
Well, yeah. A drink once in a while is good for the kidneys and the heart.
It is. It is.
So, everyone has noticed we have our nails done.
Yes. We have nails.
In a country that we have COVID, we have governors losing their shit over education and how the children are falling behind because parents don't have time to help with in-home teaching. Like, I don't know, giving them an iPad and cleaning up a space for them to take their classes and making sure they're fed, helping them with some math homework. We have a county in freaking Texas.
Mm-hmm. We do. Bless their hearts. Apparently painted nails against the dress code. At least for boys.
Yeah, painted nails are against the dress code for boys. Earrings are dress code for boys. Hair has to be trimmed off the collar for boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I read this dress code before I signed the petition. It sounds like it's from the 1960s. You know, back when they took a ruler to the ladies' skirts to make sure they were no more than a half inch above the knee.
Oh, yeah. Well, now some of that, even when I was in high school, was fairly common. Like, girls and dress codes were like, God, this never ends, does it?
Mm-hmm.
You have guys in a tank top that's cut down the sides, and maybe a pair of shorts that are almost nothing. Total normal, happy day. But unless you're a cheerleader, because let's just point out that apparently no one ordering the cheerleader outfit checked the dress code ever.
Right.
That's a moment. It's like that skirt. No, that was so far above the knee, there was no point in even checking. But other than that,
right. Well, back then that they had to wear different ones.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Talk about showing our age. Oh, some of us don't remember the 60s, though. Ow! Ow! Burn!
Well, some of us was brought up to remember the 60s. Yes. Some of us were brought up to remember the 70s, even though they participated in them, but it was more of a participation trophy, not a complete one there.
Yeah, Kathy is a big fan of And Halfway Home. Yes, I can understand being I can understand that, especially with like corporate wear. It's like, yeah, no, there's only so much.
So the project's called Support Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
And this made me do a deep dive because I'll be honest, when I went to prom, I had 3.5-inch artificial nails, solid black paint, full face makeup, a beautiful velvet cloak, lovely tuxedo, and I don't remember half the night. Didn't go with my then-to-be fiance, went with a friend. We had a good-ass time.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jennifer, I can understand being raised by your grandmother. She was very, very strict, born in 1924. Yeah, I can understand that. I can super understand that. That there's a lot of things in that generation that it's like, oh, no, we ain't playing with that.
Right, but their generation was formed by a few things.
Mm-hmm.
The generation was formed by, a plague. That generation is the reason that you wore hats and gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So that generation, we may see returns of that.
Well, and I think generationally, you'll always run into that kind of grandparent to grandchild differential.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how grandmas of the 90s are doing things right now, because I think we can point out that there are some, some 90s era, came of age, did their things, lived their life, had their kids, they're getting ready to be grandmas. Like, that's the other thing of it's 20 years since, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 21 now. That, yeah. The grandma thing's going to start hitting.
Yeah. That's going to be weird.
Little bit. Because
AC/DC is going to be blasting.
Well, there's that, but then there's going to be that moment where they're going to be like, well, back in my day, and it's going to be like, one, I remember that day, and two, let's be careful how much we're going to talk about. Because, like, I have memories, and I will call people out. Like, I already told a friend of mine, like, she ever starts crap with her daughters, I will hunt them down.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be like, now let me tell you what your mama did. Like, before she says word one to you.
Well, the other thing is now you don't have to tell your children what you've done.
She, I think, has just barely missed this. I think all the stuff she did was not online.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very strong possibility there are limited numbers of digital photos.
Right.
And it's not like we were recording a tech talk the day that, she got caught in a little lie about how she broke her ankle.
Right. So, we have teenagers that are being influenced by fashion, by Hollywood stars.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a school board that believes that nail polish is destructive to the student experience.
Oh, yeah, and distracting and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's totally it.
Yeah.
No. Like, no, this is crap.
Yeah, this is total crap. This is total, like, whatever. And it wasn't even like it was that shocking. It was flames. It was neon flames with a white background. Maybe a 2-inch nail, a little bit longer than mine. So it wasn't interfering with his schoolwork. It's just like, grow up.
Yeah. That's basically where a lot of it is.
Yeah. And we've seen this out of Texas before, especially Cider, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. These were the ones that, had other issues. But of all the issues we've got going on, we have got teenagers hanging themselves. We've got suicide rates up. We've got now death rates up because of COVID. We've got abusive parents. We've got kids trying to figure out how to keep food and table lights on and go to school. They're worried about nail polish.
Yeah, really. Not important.
Mm-mm.
Like, this, like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see having the argument. I don't even see having the problem. I don't even see having the dress code for that aspect. Like, that aspect of it. And in most instances, most dress codes don't make a lot of sense.
Right.
Some I can see. Like, like, let's at least try to cover ourselves, at least stay into whatever is coverable with a 2-piece,
Right.
If you can kind of, Adam and Eve it up there, just beyond that, move on.
Well, and I think that, in my opinion, they're going to express themselves. They're going to find themselves. They're going to deal with themselves as they are. They're going to grow and they're going to develop.
Mm-hmm.
They're into fashion. They're going to see fashions that are very fashionable. They're going to see things that they want to try, trends they want to try. Hello, the 90s should have taught that with the bang, well, the 80s with the bangs, the 90s with the parachute pants.
Well, and Rachel brings up a good point, and it explains that her 11-year-old has the freedom to express herself as long as it isn't harmful to anyone else, and also knows a lot of her mother's experiences. I think that's where a lot of people get stuck at, is like you get down this adulthood road a few decades, you know, and you just kind of want to like gloss over some bad choices or what other people told you were bad choices. You want to forget about being that person. And a lot of like the reality of that is that's like the worst thing you can do. You know, like, doesn't mean you have to live in misery and regret every day. It just means like that's who I was and those are things I did and I survived.
Right. You know,
know,
riding in the back of a pickup without a seatbelt, riding a bicycle without a helmet, listening to loud rock music.
Well, and the many other things that will occur there.
Yeah.
You know,
drinking out of a garden hose.
Drinking.
Yep.
Like, high. That was probably one of the like strange concerns that a lot of people have had. Is, you know, the effect that you know, drinking, you know, or admitting to drinking underage. It's like, no, talk about that. Explain the experience so that kids get this.
Well, not only that, but I don't know. My household was a little weird. Drinking was never a big deal here. Granted, you know, my father drank like water, but
yeah,
it wasn't a big deal. I mean, knew where it was. Got it when I wanted it. Got it when I was sick.
Yeah, the invisible assistant has decided not to be invisible this evening.
Yeah.
Just so y'all, you got to be wondering, because it was messing me up. Like, don't you know? But, okay. But yes.
Yeah. Now,
Kathy points out that, you know, one daughter and 3 boys, and one had numerous earrings, nail polish, and weird haircuts. He's a great dad now. Yeah. Like, it'll be okay, guys.
Well, not only that, but the more you control, the more you're going to have problems controlling.
Well, and the worse it can be later.
Right. And furthermore, the more we do this, the more we allow them to express themselves now, they won't be expressing themselves later.
Right. You know, and or more importantly, getting into that rut of doing everything that's expected until one day this all has a come apart. To borrow a phrase from, you know, it's a Southern thing, is, you know, there's going to be a come apart for people that, you know, just keep doing everything that's expected. Is one day that's all going to blow up and it's going to be ugly. Right. And that's going to be like a midlife crisis from hell.
And, you know, piercings and body piercings nowadays is average. I do recommend that, you know, listen to the piercer. Don't be getting it to, you know, a 0 gauge put in your ear at 13.
Well, or more importantly, like, deal with that with your kids directly and maybe consider letting a piercing occur. Not a tattoo, a piercing. Just because, well, at least in West Virginia, you cannot pierce, or you cannot, you cannot tattoo under 18. Other areas that may be different. You know, but at least for piercing, like, if your kids want to do that, except that, like, this whole concept of like a hot needle and, you know, some rubbing alcohol has been around since like my mother's era, and my mother was born in 38. So yeah, so back in the 50s, that was a thing. You know, we're talking like, it's been a hot minute. And so many infections. Because, you know, her parents wouldn't let her get her ears pierced, so blah, blah, blah. One of her friends pierced her ears.
Right.
Yeah. And mom always had like mom didn't even end up wearing earrings as an adult.
Right.
You know, like her holes like healed shut. It wasn't even, like you couldn't even tell. So you know, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
Like life moves on. It's just a piercing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, maybe draw some limits on that. Like you can get expressive piercings, or like you can pierce your ears.
Right.
Eyebrow piercing, okay. You know, but like, you know, nothing below the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, nothing that's gonna like significantly like harm you.
Right. I.e., no slitting of the tongue until like, oh, at least you're 22.
Right.
But we have moved into an era of expression, and a lot more expression is coming out. There's a lot of parents having to deal with a world they never thought they had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, non-binary, this world, that world. And I think that's where us old bears need to step in and go, oh, honey, just go bake them cookies. Listen to them. Talk to them. Chill the hell out.
Yeah. It'll be okay. Everyone went through a weird phase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just accept that.
Right.
Like, because, like, here's a visual for you if you're watching. If you're listening, this will be a little wilder. But, no, visually, just imagine me with, like, carrot orange crunchy hair, giant hooker hoop earrings, you know, you know, my pierced ears, yeah. That was my like mid to like that was my college look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you still look good with hooker heel earrings.
Yeah.
There's
No,
some gorgeous ones out there now. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
And this isn't the first time men wearing nail polish has made the news. This is just the first time it's being used as it's being weaponized.
oh, Ashley can't see it.
Oh, honey, I'm sure there's pictures. If there is, we will find them.
You know, oddly, there was one, and I don't know what's happened to it. Strangely enough, like I did have a picture from that time, and I was like even like a few years after, I was like, wow, that was a phase.
Well, we need to see if maybe Sebastian has some pictures of you.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Life moved on.
Right. But no, the other time that nail polish has been used, and it was used as support actually, to bring awareness to child abuse. And that was Paint 'em Blue in November of 19. So this has been stepping up. It's been moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, again, take time to figure out what your children are trying to be into.
Mm-hmm.
Connect with them. That's the important part. But when schools do this shit, ring their phones off the living hook. Like, don't give them any peace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Because again, this is just like it'll be okay.
Yeah, it gets better. Promise you guys. Yeah. If you're listening and you shouldn't be listening, promise you that once you get out of high school, life gets better. If you don't like the town you're in now, start working a job to move the heck out.
Well, yeah, and then you also got to like factor in like just within what the last decade we went from like you can't get a job with tattoos anywhere, or you're gonna have to cover them up.
Mm-hmm.
To most of the places that I've been to anymore don't seem to be pushing this concept. Like I've seen a lot fewer ace bandages. I've seen a lot fewer like long sleeve shirts and turtlenecks. Like,
well, I've
always been fine with it. Like, I'd rather see the tattoo than keep thinking someone has a really bad injury and they're forced to work. That's what the Ace bandage thing did to me.
Well, and then we got to look at this, and this comes from more entertainment. You know, Dolly Parton has tattoos. She's got full sleeves. You know, so I think it's become more socially acceptable. I think it's become more widely used. But I also think it got to the point to where, if that was the case, they couldn't hire anyone.
Yeah. Well, not to mention, then you end up with like the other problem, which is like middle of summer and someone's having to wear a turtleneck. Like, one, I already now know they have tattoos because no one in their right mind in the South wears a turtleneck in like August.
Right.
Like I've done figured it out. I ain't slow. You got tattoos. That's why you're wearing a turtleneck. Got it. Like, how bad could they be versus watching someone like swelter in heat?
Well, my question is always, what's it mean? Because with ink, I think it should have a story. If it doesn't have a story, it shouldn't be on you.
Well, that's your choice for your body. I'm just saying.
I know.
Other people, you know, it is what it is.
Right. But you're going to live with something for 50 years. It needs to be something you like.
Well, sometimes it's just a Tweety bird.
And
sometimes it's just, you know, whatever, another part of your life. And Ashley's like, we have this before I go to get tattooed Monday. Oh, no.
Tips for tattooing. Make sure you know what it is.
Oh, see, Ashley's like, half my tattoos don't have stories. But do you like them? Like, here's the important part. Do you like your tattoos? Like, are you like horribly like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that? I mean, I'm guessing not, since you're going Monday for more. Like, sometimes it's just pretty.
All right.
And
but
that's okay.
You see, like, business people that are like, oh no, we got to have fashionable people. So, you know, literally, men could be getting told, go get your nails done. We want to look like we're in class.
There we go. She just
story.
Hey, but well, you made it sound like it's got to be like a deeply meaningful, like, you know, this is the tattoo to remember my mother, and this is the one for, you know, like, no. Like, that's why I was pointing out, like, no, sometimes it's just pretty art and people enjoy them.
But art in itself has a story. Why you like that art. It shouldn't just be like going and getting a brand tattooed on your forehead.
Okay, now that, although Domino's pulled that stunt thinking no one would do it. Talk about an advertising oops. They offered free pizza for life for anyone who would go get a, like, I think in any form of a facial Domino's tattoo. And like, people did the math there.
Yeah.
And it's like, free pizza for life. Domino's tattooed, or like Domino's logo on your face. A lot of people made the choice and went and got the tattoo. Domino's actually had to stop the promotion because so many people took advantage of it. So if you see anyone with a Domino's tattoo, the bigger question isn't, do you regret that? It's, did you get your free pizzas?
Right. You know, I've got my rainbow horse symbol. I've got to get it touched up. We're working on finding an artist that I trust to do that and your work. But, you know, this is now commonplace. This is now a way of life for America. And I think some of these stuffier places are going to have to get over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the funny part is there are places that are typically more stuffy about it that have just kind of went, okay, we're done. Like, just whatever. And a lot of that has had to do with like the healthcare, for instance. I know of a hospital where there is a surgeon who has a Duke logo on his neck, and it's like, okay, like I didn't think like that was one field I didn't think I would see like that much tattoo acceptance, but apparently like not an issue.
No, not an issue. I know a doctor. It has a full back piece. Doesn't mind showing it off in the ER either.
Well, there you go. But no, I mean,
yeah,
it's getting better.
It's getting.
But I'm just saying, like even 10 years ago, that was one of those things that it was like, no, you can't get a job, or if you get a job, you're gonna have to like make up over that, or you're gonna have to cover it somehow. To like today, and it's like I think employers just finally went, this is too much grief.
No, they saw it when there was like, oh, I can't hire anybody for this job. So
yeah, no one's going to do this.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear it.
Yeah. So you brought me some gleeful information today.
Oh, did I? Which gleeful information? That the NRA is dying?
Well, the NRA has filed bankruptcy.
Yes, they have, and they're moving from New York to Texas. New York would like to remind everyone that doesn't mean their investigation for mismanagement stops. But yes.
Yeah. Well, their attorney general is all pissed and fire and brimstone here lately. Because they are announcing investigations into the Trump organization.
Yeah, the NRA. That NRA. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Man.
No. And the NRA has been a mess for a while, though.
They have been. For about 30 years now.
Yeah.
I used to be a supporter of them until they got stupid. When they got stupid is when I started having a problem with them.
And then the mismanagement has apparently been going on for quite a while. Like they've just been kind of using it as a piggy bank.
Right.
Just whatever.
Right.
Like approve everything.
Well, not only that, but they stopped being about training for rifle safety, training for how to handle a gun, training, teaching women how to shoot, training, teaching children rifle safety, hunter classes, shooting galleries. This is what they were. They were a social rifle club. And they became a political club that's like, oh, let's choose who to donate our dues to and throw parties for.
Right. Well, because it ended up making more money.
Right.
Unfortunately, it is run like a business. If you can whip enough people into a frenzy on this, yet again, they're coming to take your guns, which ironies out of January 6th, the number of people that are probably going to lose both the right to vote and own guns out of this is going to be amazing. But that's its own side piece. But no, if you can whip enough people into that frenzy, you can keep getting donations. We've got to stop the horrible left. They're going to take your guns. Oh, we got to stop the horrible left. They're going to take your guns. Like 8 years of Obama, who lost a gun? Who lost a gun?
Or 8 years of Clinton, who lost a gun. Oh, yeah, the AK-57s were stopped being produced.
The AK-47, well, there was wasn't he the one that did he instigate that or start that or remove that?
No, he started
involved with it.
Renew it.
Okay. But the most we had was some limited gun control on, high power weapons.
Right.
AK-47s, AR-15s. These were generally in that category of like, no, that's not just a little home self-defense. That's not just some, let's go hunting. That is a human killing machine.
Right.
that's an excessive gun.
Yeah, no means going to be used.
Little more.
Right.
So yeah.
And the only thing I see that it's good for in domestic use is cutting wood.
Well, again, as I've repetitively said, if you need an AR, or, you know, like an AR-15 or an AK-47, for like hunting,
right,
self-defense, I'm just saying you're not allowed to use my toilet.
Right.
Nope. 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 Like, no. That means your aim is crap. No.
Well, and you know, I'm going to just reiterate: I do believe in the Second Amendment. Everyone should at least have one weapon, preferably a handgun or shotgun, or one of each, or up to 10 of each. But you should know how to shoot them, clean them, and put them away.
Yes, and store them safely.
Yes.
You know, just like, and I have no problem with that. I grew up in a family with guns. My problem isn't that people have guns at all. It's, can we talk about the, like, you know, some guns just aren't, like, you know, these are not collector's items. These are like, or they shouldn't be. These are not collector's items. They're not big, pretty guns hanging on a wall. These are, you know, not hunting guns. These are not self-defense guns. These are mow people down guns. And no one that knows you have that can get that can get access to that. Like, no, you're like, hi, it's just an arsenal.
Right.
Especially if your gun cabinet is unlocked or, you know, wooden glass display case. Like, that ain't stopping nobody. Get a gun safe. Or fully reevaluate your need to show off your guns.
Exactly.
One, that actually ends up making you a bigger target for a robbery.
Exactly.
When you have guns everywhere.
Well, you can have guns and knives everywhere. The point is having them to where you can reach them, but they're safely away from others.
Yeah. Yeah. And I more so have issues with people that have to show off their guns. Like, I've never had a moment when someone's like, and here's my gun, where I'm like, okay, I really think you ought to have a gun because I asked nothing about your gun collection. Didn't need to know about it. Not interested in it.
Right.
Why are you pulling it out from between couch cushions? No.
Lord, no.
Not interested. I was actually sitting next to someone and they're like, oh, and here's my gun. And it's like, oh, okay. No, sorry, I'm done right now. Like, nope, sorry, no.
Right. You know, there is no reason to pull out a gun unless you plan to shoot somebody.
Yeah. It's like, I understand you needed a hiding place for it, but my God, would you not? Like, really, in the couch? Like, if I remember correctly, there was like an 8-year-old in the house at the time.
In the couch? No.
Yeah. Like,
in a box, in a drawer, on a shelf, in another box.
Yeah. Which got followed up with the world's, like, scariest next sentence is, I think the safety is on.
The safety is never on, and a gun is always loaded. I don't care if you took every bullet out of it and it only holds one. It's still loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was totally uncomfortable across the board at that moment. I'm just like, yep, nope, don't think you ought to have a gun. Nope. Like, I'm not saying the cops need to come in and, like, take his gun. I'm just saying, I don't think you should have a gun because you're probably going to blow off something. A foot, a hand, a reproductive organ.
Well, we've talked about your grandmother's gun on the show.
Pardon?
Your beautiful grandmother's gun. Growing up, did you see it?
No. But now, at the same time, again, like the other guns were in a wood and glass display case in a bedroom. Good luck if you ever saw them. Like, that wasn't a room anyone typically went into. You know.
Yeah. It's because I don't know, I was taught properly handling of a gun. And, you know, if you're under the age of my knee, you don't touch it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, other people, it's like, you know, first thing when you walk in the door, it's like, here's the great big giant gun cabinet, like wood, glass, like the key is always either hanging out of the lock or on top of it. Always, without fail, always. Hanging out of the lock or on top of it.
No, not in this house. One, I don't need that many guns because I don't hunt. So that means I just need firearm handguns. We've been in a relationship for 3 years. I don't think you've seen Betsy.
Nope. Not interested.
Not only that, but you don't need to see her. If you see her, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, some things may have gone wrong. And
not just what I mean by responsible gun ownership.
Right. It's not a toy. It's not show and tell time. It is not, you know, here's your great big giant glass case sitting in the middle of the living room so that everyone knows that you have guns. No. One, like, if nothing else, will you please realize this is how people find out you have guns? No one needs to know that.
Right. It's like when you buy tours. It's going to be a lovely time for you to wrap it up, put it in a box, put it underneath a tree, attach a card to it, whatever you need to do.
He'll see.
You probably will not see Taurus again.
Brenda said he'll see the salad before he sees the gun. Basically. In most circumstances, yes.
Yeah, under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll see the Caesar salad freshly picked for him beforehand.
There you go.
Oh, so the NRA is moving to Texas. Surprise, surprise. Oh, surprise.
Well, you know.
And we've seen a lot of corporate announcements this week. Like, the hits just keep going.
Oh, yeah. It has been a greatest hits of companies that have jerked their donations from Republicans.
Yeah.
It's been a moment. I think this may drive home the point of, like, get your crap together.
Right.
Like, this whole, like, inciting a riot thing, probably not a good career move. Like, let's stop doing that. Let's stop making politics about inciting a riot.
Right. And I don't even think we've scratched the full surface of this yet, and we will talk about it more. And when I say we haven't scratched the full surface of this yet, it is now coming out that there were tours being given the day before.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's been nuts. Like, there's more and more and more details coming out, and it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, like panic buttons being removed from offices before. I want to see what they do with this one senator that tweeted out the location of Pelosi.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an ugly one.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But in tech news, Zello was apparently a big, giant part of the communications between those who were rioting.
Really?
Do I know?
Zello?
Yeah. It's apparently a little walkie-talkie app for cell phones. It has different channels that you can set up. Basically works sort of like old school push to talk. Mostly the theory behind it.
Okay, because what I heard was Zillow like the look up a house selling site.
No, not Zillow. Zello.
Yeah.
Like hello, but spelled with an H or with a Z instead of an H.
Ah.
So, yeah, no, Ashley was there too. She was like, the house sell website?
Like, how they pull this off? What they do? Try to buy the White House? Oh, yeah, they already done that. Anyhow.
Well, I'm sure Trump's going to try to market it. Like, I'm more surprised there's not 10-foot tall gold letters that Biden has to take down. Like anyone else with me there, that is not surprised or that is surprised there are not 10-foot tall gold letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of expected that one. I expected that year one, day one. Mm-hmm. There to be a conversation about, can we get 10-foot tall gold letters that spell out Trump
right
on the front lawn?
Right.
And it may have been a conversation. It may have just been one of the few things someone went, no. No. But yeah. But no, Zello is a little push-to-talk app. They've had some issues on their platform for years now. It's not really a super well-known app, but it became very instrumental in keeping people connected. Both at the riot and those who were at the riot and those outside of the riot.
Right.
And a lot of those communications do kind of lend to it being there was a bigger plan than what they got away with.
Right.
But yeah, so there's that. Zello, however, after years of claiming they had no way to moderate and that, there just wasn't anything that could be done, suddenly found a way to moderate their website.
Quick.
And their app. Yeah.
Yeah.
After January 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
Once they figured out, oh, crap, we could be that other site. Quickly.
Oh. Yeah, we could be Parler quickly. Yeah, Parler died. Parler went dead. What was that? Midnight Saturday?
Midnight Saturday. We'll see if they resurrect. However, Clapper, I'm being heard something called Clapper is now their new home for the moment until Clapper gets tired of them.
Probably. Very quickly. But yeah, no, I think everyone's seen what Parler has had happen to them, and they are massively reconsidering their abilities there.
Right.
Because, yeah, what's basically been said is it's very unlikely that Parler is going to recover. Building on Amazon, moving off of Amazon, that's a short list of places that could ever pull that off. And basically all of those have already told them no.
Right. I don't think you can get a GoDaddy account.
Basically, there's even if they self-host, they're probably going to run into similar issues with their ISP in terms of the service and how they're using the service. So even if they manage to get a website up and find an ISP that's happy to have them as a customer, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be a shell.
Right.
It's going to be like a bad 90s forum.
Right.
It's the best they're going to be able to run.
Right.
Simple bulletin board system kind of setup. It's not going to be a fully fleshed out social media website. Yeah. So always fun, interesting, and news from tech.
It is, and also Biden has released his Rescue America plan, which I'm finding very interesting because there's actually things that may actually help us, the American people, help other small businesses, not me specifically, but it's I've seen his work before and it's very good work, but I'm and they couldn't do this before now? and cheaper.
Are you talking about as in like Trump couldn't pull this shit off?
Well, the Congress couldn't pull this shit off.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm just trying to keep up because sometimes it's a little, like as in like where are we at? Because gotta remember, like soon to be, President Biden is former Vice President Biden. So it's kind of like, how do you mean we're in the before?
Yeah. Meaning, the before January 1, they couldn't do the $2,000 stimulus. They couldn't do the $10,000 relief on student loans. They couldn't fund our health departments that are operating on a shoestring budget.
Well, a lot of that is based around like Republican theories on spending, which is don't do that. And
yeah, but they always drive. That's what I never get. Is they always drive the deficit up, but never get anything done.
Right. Well, what basically happens with that is, and it's not because Republicans are spending more. It actually has more to do with their taking in less. Like it's like running a household budget. Like
right.
you can reduce your spending, but at some point, if you don't get your lazy ass off the couch and make an income,
right,
it doesn't matter if you've reduced the bills down to as low as they can go. You eventually don't have the income to pay it if you're working like 4 hours 1 day a week because you choose to. And that's kind of where Republican tax cuts and spending cuts end up.
Right.
It's like, let's massively reduce the largest sources of revenue while simultaneously cutting spending, and it never balances.
Right.
It's always lopsided because there's always so much military spending that like how much of that you want to cut. like like you can't cut everything. You can't cut all of the taxes and like cut all the spending necessary to adjust for that.
No.
So it always runs a deficit. It always becomes an inherited shit show that, causes an increase in taxes because you had 8 years of unsustainable tax rates.
Well, what's going to be interesting, however, is Bernie Sanders is now over the budget committee.
This should be fun.
Oh, this will be hilarious. I think he'll end the $72 hammer brigade.
Oh, okay.
And the $350 toilet seat brigade. I think he'll look and go, are you nuts? Do you not know what Home Depot is?
Well, and some of this is contractual. And I understand that is that, like not that the prices are that insane. But I think a lot of it is built around getting a contract and being an approved, vendor and just continuing to get contracts. And each time everything creeps up. As well as a lot of it being built around that kind of cronyism. Like, you supported my campaign, I'll support your, whatever you want to bid for this.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Right. And Ashley makes a great comment. Trump can't hold a candle to Biden, even with Biden's flaws. Exactly. Biden has his flaws. He is not the perfect savior to the United States. He is hot-tempered. He has a mouth on him that makes mine look small. He will tell you what he thinks as quickly as he's able to get it out. Kamala Harris is very strict on crime. She's very much I am not putting up with your bullcrap, but she has a nice fashion taste and a really cute niece that shows it off a lot. But at the same time, she's very thorough.
Yeah. Well, and Harris especially has Well, she's gotten attacked a lot for her background as a prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, with being a prosecutor, is sometimes you just have to take the case that you're handed and work with what you got and turn it into something.
And do what's right.
Yeah.
Example, and this is an example that they don't want to talk about, is yes, when she was the prosecutor for the state of California, she had to fight against a transgender getting complete surgery because she was ordered to. However, she went around the case and got it worked out anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the legal system, outside the legal system.
Well, and there is that. And again, sometimes not always perfect.
Right.
Which is a big difference between, like, say, her and Pence.
Mm-hmm.
Pence made it a large part of his platform to go on the attack needlessly in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a difference. Like, one's doing your job even when it sucks.
Right. And
even when you're sitting there going, oh, this is crap. This is so crap.
And
but
fixing
what
it.
I'm paid to do.
Mm-hmm. And going around the system and fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the more important part they don't want to talk about. Is she prosecuted the case, she defended the state's view on this, and then she went to the other side and said, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how this is going to work. I have to try this case in good faith, and I'll do that. But at the same time, I'm going to go over and talk to this organization and see if we can't get you some help to overwork it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's going to be a lot of that. Is like a lot of it was made in the race. A lot of it is going to end up being a lot different than how that was portrayed.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now there's $15 an hour minimum wage. I don't know. I think it'll be hard for him to get through, but I think it'll be something to see if he does.
I think post-COVID, this may be more possible than it has ever been before, and probably the same if he wants to push universal health care. I know he has not been a big proponent of that, but I think that's going to end up being one of the biggest things that's going to end up helping in this crisis.
Right.
Like
that we may get the public option that the Democrats wanted originally.
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of people, COVID has been the big wake up as to how crazy and insane healthcare has gotten.
Mm-hmm.
That, high.
Right.
Like, you can't ignore this anymore. Right. And then some of the the insanity that's gone on in this.
Right.
Of $10,000 COVID tests.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Like that's not a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. Why is that a thing?
Right.
Yeah. But then again, we've also gotten some dark lighting, but few improvements to healthcare just with COVID, including support for telemedicine.
Mm-hmm.
Telehealth is now a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're jerking that back from anyone's hands.
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ashley's pointing out that GoPuff has one they'll deliver for $145.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the one story that I was reading, this was about it wasn't MedExpress. It was like a more upscale version of MedExpress.
Mm-hmm.
That a doctor worked for, and he had an exposure risk, and he went to get tested at the facility he works for, and got the insurance billing on that one, and was like $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
He actually quit in protest because he was like, no, I can't work for this organization.
Yeah.
this is so out of bounds ridiculous
Mm-hmm.
that you would dare charge insurance that kind of money for a simple fucking test.
Right.
Because they could.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Right.
But that kind of also harkens to, Senator Manchin's daughter and the, $1,000 EpiPen twin pack.
Yeah.
That everyone's going, what did you do to it?
And if I remember right, the same EpiPen is sold in Canada for less than $15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's like the insulin. West Virginia finally passed it to where insulin can't be over $50 for a 30-day supply. And I'm like, it should have never been over $30 for...
or over $50 for a 30-day supply.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the oldest drugs still on the market, still in use.
Mm-hmm.
How can it cost this much?
Yeah. Yeah, and Ashley brings up a big point, is most of that access they charge to insurance is written off.
Yeah.
That's a big part in the insurance and health debate that gets lost in translation. Please note that if you, and you should have, if you ever have anything done, and you will get what's called an EOB, or an explanation of benefits, and that explanation of benefits uses some choice words that may lead you to think that your insurance paid an amount. They did not pay that amount. What they did was they did a contractual adjustment for a large percentage of it, and may have actually paid less than you did on your copay for the service.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that one happen. That more frequently with like doctor's visits. Like that doctor may be able to bill out $150. What you will see on your explanation of benefits can be very different.
Right.
And it may make it sound like in addition to your $35 copay, that your insurance paid, the rest. When what actually happened is you paid $35 of that $150. And the allowable rate for insurance was, say, $80.
Mm-hmm.
So $80 minus $35, you very quickly get to the point where you paid for over half your health care.
Mm-hmm.
Or
like we've discovered with, what is it? Give me the phone. Let me see. There's a medicine we both use.
Mm-hmm.
And that medicine is like $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
But with drugstore.com, it's like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, good RX.
Yeah.
It's $20.
Yeah.
What? With a coupon code, it's $20, but to buy it over the counter, it's $2,000.
Oh yeah. I didn't learn about this until I got into, started working for. I never got into it. Started working for a debt collections agency and started seeing the numbers and how we had to apply them. Some of it was payment. And it makes a difference to a debt collections agency. It makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. Because what sometimes happens, and for some hospitals it happens all the time, but what sometimes happens in a good hospital is somehow an account slips through the crack. Right. It hits the 180 days without payment. Maybe when they did your intake, they inverted a digit on your insurance or got the wrong group code, or you gave them an old insurance card, whatever. So insurance denied it originally. Then eventually insurance pays it. Okay, that's not always just a payment. We had to be very careful as to how we entered what. So part of that amount had to be entered as an adjustment to change the balance.
Right.
And then the actual payment applied. Because all we were going to get credit on if we had gone through, called the patient and corrected the insurance mistake so that insurance paid, all we were going to get commission on was the actual cash that changed hands,
Right.
not the amount. And the other part of that always got me is the number of insurance companies that'll sit there and will send a check. So we process, the adjustments and payments and all that. Then they'll actually request the money back, pay a new amount. So we've got to reapply all of that again and go back and forth over like mere pennies.
Yeah.
Just for the aggravation.
Yeah.
Just for the aggravation.
Yeah.
Like,
and crap. It's too complicated in the United States. If you go to Canada, you go to the drugs, you go to your doctor, you make your appointments, you pick up your meds, you pay your tax bill. Everything's pre-negotiated, everything's priced out. Now, this isn't to get a tummy tuck or to get, some elective surgeries. This is normal, everyday health care.
Well, and catastrophic
and pays you to go get your test done.
Well, and it's not that there's necessarily there are some countries that do cover electives. But yeah, that's a different topic. I believe Brazil is one.
Okay.
I believe they cover cosmetic surgery by want.
Right.
Like you just want it.
Right. But I'm saying that we see a lot of countries that do this. They figured this system out. They figured out this idea a good long time ago, like World War II. I said, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to pay you a fee. We're going to pay the hospital an organizational fee. We're going to pay the drug manufacturers their fees. Everyone's going to get profit, but you're going to sell at the same price. You're going to behave the same, and you're going to get your lovely checks when they come in. Behave, play nice, and we'll handle the rest.
Well, and that is the big difference. Like the U.S. has allowed for a lot of like gross manipulation of prices, under this guise of research and development, which is an argument that can be made very well by a lobbyist that well, we need money. The reason that drug and other drugs will one day exist, and this one exists today, is because of research and development. But more often than not, a lot of the money that they get for their research and development actually comes out as a grant.
Exactly.
No, this was just straight profit.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't research and development money. That's not how you're using it. Unless there's a whole different side of your company and there's some other stuff you forgot to mention. Like that you've got a file sitting there full of like cures for other diseases that you're like, it's not really profitable yet. Like what are you doing?
Right. Well, what they're doing is writing big bonus checks. The bonus check's the important one. Now, granted, I got my first bonus this year. That was very nice of them. First bonus I've gotten in 15 years.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Sorry. Well, that's a bit of a gear shift. Yeah, you got a network bonus.
Yeah.
You did. Though theirs wasn't exactly a bonus as much as it was a contest. But still, it was still a bonus. Like,
it was still a bonus. I have to report it as a bonus.
Well, yes.
Yeah. And it's not a shift. It's kind of a topic change. I thought we'd talk about something real fun.
Oh, that's not from like the last 24 hours, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I got an Instagram message from an international client. No big deal. New booking system. Let me provide customer service for this. No big deal. Oh, yes, I can do Zoom calls in that country. I was like, please, I know some of our people have used my automated booking system. Please tell me it's not that difficult. That you can see the times and everything available, and then it's quick and easy to set up. Because it took me about 30 minutes to explain that, no, I only accept 2 payments. And then they came back and said, well, can I pay you on network and do it private? And I'm like, no.
Whoa. Like, that's not how that works.
No, because
bless your heart.
4% when we take care of all the everything else. 4% processing fee versus 61% processing fee.
Hmm? Not to mention, how did she think she was going to be able to pay that through that network?
I don't know.
Like, was she going to buy a package and think that's how it worked?
I don't know.
Like, I still haven't figured this out. Like, mentally, it's like, girl,
But
where
I don't know if she thought that they were like Etsy, where you just run a card through them or not.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Like, no, not how that works. Like, even if that's how that worked, the fees alone. Like, yeah, no. Like, if y'all haven't caught on, his private fees are much lower than his network fees, because the networks charge a whole lot more than just for credit card processing. So, yeah, his per minute varies drastically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a moment. We got a giggle. Well, I got a giggle. You were just like, oh my God. Like, this is taking forever.
But it was no big deal. But at the same time, if you guys notice some of our new stuff, because I'm launching a new classroom, we're launching a new catalog, we launched a new scheduling system. I may be launching another messenger system that I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet, so I'm going to have to figure out that. But once those are launched, y'all guys be telling me what you like, what you don't like, what's a pain in the ass.
Well, yeah, and if you are having trouble with the booking system, do let us know. I mean, but from everything we can tell, like, it gives you times and your local, like their localized times. It shouldn't be like, it's a pretty fairly good bouncy ball walkthrough process. But if you are, like, from everything we've seen,
right
now, keep in mind, there's only, so far you can go through a system, like, or so much time spent in a system until it just makes perfect sense. So if there are things that are unclear,
right,
let us know, because at this point, like, he's in it every day now. And after being through a different booking system through Facebook, a lot of it easily mentally transferred. It was kind of like ding da ding.
Well, not only that, but what I like about this one is it doesn't matter where you are. Like Facebook, I was limited to the US and Canada, and my international clients had to take a left fork to a right fork to get to me. Now they don't have to do that.
We have a Mika.
Hello, Mika.
And she's like, you were right about my work computer. It was a long week, and I like the system you guys use, and it's pretty easy.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad I was right about your work computer.
Oh, yeah. The booking system. Yeah. No, we're there. We got it. The booking system. It was, yeah.
Yeah. But no, this one gives us a lot of perks, gives us a lot of benefits. I'm even using it to organize the classes. I will be doing a virtual class every month. Next month will be Astrology 101. I'll be getting that event and everything set up for that after I finish this one. We're not going to jump too far ahead of ourselves as we do this, and as we roll out Aeson Educational Services.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's actually been really interesting figuring out new plugins. and things to do. I am shifting my ventures back to be directed more towards me.
There is that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and let's just have the algorithm conversation real quick.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because like you had the moment where like this was going to be a lot less like involved originally. Like the first class you put up, you thought, okay, this is going to rock. This is going to be easy. We're going to have to create 2 pages. We're going to host a video off platform or off, website, use a very popular video service.
Uh-huh.
And then we ran into an algorithm problem.
Yeah.
Which is you made the video private.
Yep.
Which should have kept anyone from seeing it who didn't have a direct link to it. Yet the algorithm decided to pick up and throw that video out. So just a note for those of you out there with a popular video platform, video, please note it may not be as private as you think it is.
Right.
Just because if someone's searching the right way, it can be served up in the algorithm. We were sitting here going, do what? Like we had like this many pays for the class and we had this many views on the video, and we're going, what? Like there's no way they've already watched it that many times.
No.
Like there's no way.
Right.
Like,
so, but it's really good because one of the services I am launching is pre-recorded video. So we are moving to another platform to host our video. That will give us dedicated service with limited exposure. It is going to cost of doing business. We just enjoy the tax write-off.
Basically.
Yep.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
So many expenses.
But there are expenses.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the thing that we have to click into our header. These are now our expenses for our business that we're not paying 40% out on.
True.
Or 61% out on.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah.
Oh, and read Ashley's window comment, because I've been trying to figure out what the hell I saw.
Okay, the window story is half right so far as well. It should be getting fixed Thursday, and the extra stuff ended up being us staying at my mother-in-law's house for the week. Okay, I'm still trying to think back. What was the window story?
She had to have a window replaced, and I'm looking at like rotten wood. I'm like, honey, you need more than a window replacement.
Okay. All right.
I'll turn back when I hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But okay. Oh dear. But no, I'm surprised we haven't had a single question all night, have we?
No. It's
like
pretty chill.
I know, right?
Yeah, you are ready for it, honey. You can take this time to enjoy your mother-in-law, see how she treats your lovely partner. It'll remind you what he's used to and what he doesn't like.
Or nothing else, experience a lot of gratitude when you get home. Like, thank you for not being like her. Like, sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's just a moment you have to have with your spouse.
Or what I do with you, I look at you and go take a shower. You've been around my mother too long.
Well, I would if you would only clean it. No, that's the example of how...
That shower's been cleaned, mister.
Well, you could have cleaned it with bleach.
No.
Oh, they're at the good mother-in-law's house. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. But no. Oh, there's Kathy. Anything?
With
Do I?
You know better than that.
What?
Anything on Taz? He's breathing.
Well, 72862. Keep the lawyers happy. He's breathing. Did you just seriously go that smart, Alec?
I seriously just went that, David. Like, yep, he's breathing. She said anything. But looking at the cards, it looks like you're looking at your goals and your inspirations there with a new challenge coming. I do feel that he'll be coming forward closer and getting things more comfortable.
That is more of a reading. Oh, and Mika has a question.
Yay!
All right.
All right, let's go for Ashley because she's up, and then we'll get Mika's in.
Okay, but Ashley doesn't have a birthday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't memorized. I know she's perfectly fine. Like, I know there's a 1 in it.
All right, go for Tamika, then we'll come back to Ash.
Okay, well, okay. So Tamika 22082, my car, should I or will I get a new one, or should I just slowly pay off the damage on the one I have?
You end up getting a new one in the summer, honey. How you want to finance it's up to you, but you're going to have to. Yes, there's damage there, but there's other problems you got to deal with.
Okay, and then Ashley's is more of a fun question.
Okay.
So Ashley 82696, I want to ask, but I'm having fun trying to figure out what's going on with my daughter's speech. She's 18 months and hasn't started talking yet, but I think it's because she's going to speak another language first. I speak Spanish and English and understand Portuguese, Spanish, some French, and some Latin.
I know most of the tones of those, but the one I feel like she goes after first is a lot more growler. I don't know how she would be hearing like Russian or Swiss or Norwegian or something like that, but I think she may go there first.
Okay, so more guttural? Not, I was like, she's going to be talking a gay dating app? Like, this is going to be a long answer.
Yeah, well, because Spanish is very fluent and very, very, very sweet and danceable. English is boring. And then we look at Portuguese that has that same saucy tone to it as the Spanish does. The French has that more sing-sing tone to it. And the Latin, my God, Gregorian chants, really, we don't need an 18-month-old doing Gregorian chants.
Well, yeah, especially not while she's driving. Like, I'm sorry, that'll put anyone out.
Depending on the chant.
No, just chant, period. Now, there are songs in Latin that'll keep you awake, but chants, all of the chants are like, look, you will, you'll go completely out. Like, can you just see trying to commute home and or drive to the store and just like well, I used to fall asleep to like Gregorian chant. Like, it'll drop me every time. She rolls the words she wants to say a lot.
Mm-hmm. But she's going to be very fluent, and also don't be surprised around teenage years she starts picking up Mandarin. Of course, I also feel like we'll see more Mandarin going on and Mandarin dialects going on across the world.
Oh, apparently she is fun to listen to and so serious when she talks.
Yes, that has left over from her other childhood.
So there we go. I think we cleared all the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are hitting that hour-and-a-half mark.
We are. It's been a very, very good day. It was great coming and talking with you guys. Ciao. But first, let's do our thing.
Yes, please.
Give me a second to get there. Boom.
Well, of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors, and he has made it extra hard for me to do so this evening because it popped up in the wrong way. So I'm having to wait for it to scroll back around because I never want to leave anyone out. But we do really appreciate your support. We hope you're enjoying the newsletter and all your other wonderful benefits. And if you want to find out what those are, you can go to PCSPnetwork.com. But we do want to specifically thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gist, and the Crystal Lotus Shop.
And if you'd like to learn more and to support the shows and the sponsorships and also even get a copy of the newsletter directly to you, you can go to PCSPnetwork.com.
There you go.
So hopefully, you guys, next Tuesday we will be in. Hopefully the computer will be nice to us. And also, we may have the intro up.
Ooh, yeah, we almost had it.
We almost had the intro, but it wanted to be a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's twice now. We thought we almost had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get there.
It is in the works. It'll be fun to work with. I'm teaching numerology tomorrow. I will be closing registration at 2 o'clock, and it's 2 a.m. So if you're wanting to take the numerology class, do so. And also patrons, be sure to check your Patreon mail because you have a coupon code. All right. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Tuesday.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.